Hello and welcome to the Spotlight on the Benelux Data and Cybersecurity as hosted by Investinize Benelux team. The Benelux team is based in Brussels and we support all companies from all sectors to identify opportunities and sell into the Benelux. And we also support FDI opportunities from the Benelux into Northern Ireland. My name is Amy Dalton and I'm Regional Director for the Benelux. And although we support companies from all sectors, I have a particular focus on supporting companies to sell into financial services and also around security and defence.
Hi, I'm Emilien Thorin and I work with Amy in the Brussels office as a business development manager. I focus mostly on trade work and I help NI companies internationalize in the Benelux as well as in France relatively. In terms of sectors, I focus on smart cities in a broad sense. So this will include subsectors such as mobility, smart building, energy and utilities, etc. And therefore, it will also include data and cybersecurity as solutions applied to all of those subsectors. So to start with, what is the Benelux? So for those who would not know, it stands for Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. It is considered as an open, competitive, and affluent European market. Actually, if we take together those three countries, Benelux is one of the first export destinations for NI businesses in mainland Europe. So you have first Belgium, which is one of UK's largest trading partner, with opportunities particularly lying in high-value products and services. Official languages there in Belgium are French, Dutch, and German, but English is a widely accepted business language and is considered as neutral language because it can be used by the different Belgian communities to communicate with each other. For the Netherlands, it is one of the largest economies in Europe, one of the world's most open economies. It is very culturally similar to the UK, making it an ideal test market for our products and solutions. The official language there is obviously Dutch, but English is also very widely spoken and accepted as a business language. And last but not least, Luxembourg, a very small European nation, but a wealthy country. It is a financial and private funds hub in Europe. So to summarize, we can say that the Benelux is a very open market with advanced buyers and significant exports possibilities for your businesses, but it is also highly competitive.
We in the Benelux are seeing opportunities for selling into a number of industries for a number of reasons. Some of these reasons are: one, we're seeing an increase in digitalization; two, we're seeing an increase in the risk and threat of cybercrime; and three, data and cybersecurity has very much become a government priority across the Benelux markets. Emilien is now going to take you through some of the opportunities we are seeing in the verticals and who we are targeting for business.
First, the ports and maritime industry. It's a very significant one in the Benelux, with the two largest ports in Europe being Rotterdam and Antwerp. So along those ports, you will find integrated maritime and logistic clusters, as well as significant manufacturing and chemicals industries. So those large ports of Antwerp and Rotterdam are considered as pioneers in terms of technology innovation. They invest in cybersecurity and data, but they usually have their own resources in-house. So there might be more business opportunities lying with the mid-sized ports such as Amsterdam or Zeebrugge, for example. Second is utilities and energy, also an important sector in the Benelux. The Benelux is actually considered as a world leader in renewable energy, as well as being a significant logistics hub. Utilities and energy companies in the Benelux are facing disruption now with new players and new technologies such as edge computing, IoT, machine-to-machine connections, and are therefore looking for data and cybersecurity solutions. Manufacturing and advanced manufacturing, including aerospace, also important in the Benelux. It's a hub in this sector, and it's a pioneer in Industry 4.0. We actually have seen that the factories of the future have already been present in the Benelux for a long time already. Across the Benelux and across those organizations, you can find pioneering technologies, including robotics, AI, 3D printing, IoT, or big data. And manufacturing companies are currently looking to optimize their production processes and create more efficient business models. So there might be opportunities lying there for data and cybersecurity solutions. For life sciences, the Dutch life sciences community is a world leading and it's very significant, with, for instance, more than 3,000 R&D life sciences companies, 400 biopharmaceutical companies, and more than 60,000 employees in pharmaceuticals. Belgium is also extremely strong in this sector, especially in biotech, medtech, and also pharmaceuticals, with 200 companies, including big players like GSK or Pfizer. And you have Flanders in Belgium, which has one of the world's highest concentrations of biopharmaceutical companies. So in this sector, the opportunities in data and cybersecurity would mostly lie in data solutions for the protection of the data of patients and the prevention of the leakage of those data. And last but not least, financial services. So the financial services sector is also important in the Benelux. You have this sector, especially banking, which is moving from physical buildings to online solutions, and companies are investing in technologies such as AI, blockchain, etc. The Netherlands in particular is considered as an early adopter of fintech solutions. And you have Luxembourg, as I mentioned earlier, which is a financial hub. It is actually the #2 financial center in the EU and the #1 fund center in the EU.
The most commonly feared threats and risks in the Benelux include things like data leakage, phishing, and extortion. And to combat these threats, there is recognition of the need to work together across academia, business, and government, and there are a number of initiatives listed on the slide to do this. What is important to note is the presence of organisations such as NATO in Brussels and The Hague, the Europol, even the EU institutions, among others, has driven the growth of the Benelux countries as leading cybersecurity communities. Belgium rebooted their cybersecurity strategy in June of this year to bring them up to 2025 to combat attacks after several very high-profile attacks. The 6 strategic areas that they will focus on over the next 5 years are investing in secure network infrastructure, raising awareness of cybersecurity threats, protecting vital institutions, deterring cyber attacks, improving public, private, and academic partnerships, and articulating a clear international commitment to the issue. And in line with that, the Centre for Cybersecurity in Belgium will double its headcount. What's also important to note and not forget is that the Luxembourg government also have ambitions, one of which is to become Europe's most trusted data economy, thanks to various measures they've put in place, such as a national data exchange platform, digital twin projects, and the implementation of a high-performance supercomputer to service business and academia.
So why should an cyber and data security business consider the Benelux as a target export market? So we have seen that those markets are early adopters of technology across very different sectors, such as we've seen, manufacturing with Industry 4.0, fintech, life sciences, etc. As Amy also started to say, security is an identified government and business priority. It's included in the country's strategic roadmaps, such as, for example, with Belgium, and its strategic plan to make it one of the safest European countries in the field of cyber security by 2025. It has a range of sophisticated potential buyers across a number of direct sectors that we have seen earlier. We also have seen that English is widely spoken, widely accepted as the language of business everywhere in the Benelux, and more specifically in the Netherlands. Thanks to this language accessibility, this cultural proximity, and other factors, it is considered as a gateway market for British business going into mainland Europe and the EU. And so to summarize, it is an open, easy to access economy, but it is also highly competitive. So if you have the best solution or the most cost effective, you probably get the market there.
And Invest and I want to support your growth in the Benelux market, and we can support you in a number of ways and tailor those supports as to what you require. So first of all, as you can see in the slide, we have a number of trade supports to help you understand market opportunities and engage with potential partners and buyers. Secondly, we run an early stage export program if you are exploring outside of the UK and Ireland for the first time, and this program is called Going Dutch. Thirdly, we hope to be able to launch the Hub in 2022, which will be a plug and play office space in Brussels where you can work, host meetings, host events when in market. Fourthly, we run a number of programs, both physical and online, to include things like sector-focused trade shows, missions, and even pitching to potential buyers here in market. And finally, we can help you connect into the Department for International Trade, and we work closely with DIT and even undertake joint events together. As an example, in February 2020, we were able to bring 5 companies out to The Hague, where we did an event with DIT focused on cybersecurity and financial services. So if you're interested in exploring the Benelux markets, please do speak to your client executive. The purpose of today's webinar is really to share some initial insights with you on cyber and data security sector and opportunities in the Benelux markets. And we are going to hear from some fantastic speakers. So directly after this presentation, we're going to hear from Innovation Quarter on market opportunities in the Netherlands, which will be followed by a presentation from Angoga, where they will share their journey from Northern Ireland to the Netherlands and beyond. Finally, we're going to have a Q&A session with all the speakers. We would encourage you to put your questions in the chat throughout today's webinar, and also you'll have opportunities to put those questions directly to the speakers at the end. Although today's webinar is focused on Belgium and the Netherlands, we just don't have time to cover Luxembourg as well, but do not forget Luxembourg. And if you are targeting financial services sector and the fund sector, we would be delighted to speak to you and support you at looking at the Luxembourg as well. So I'm going to hand over to the Innovation Quarter now, who are going to take you through opportunities in the Netherlands. Thank you.